Hello, 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 it's coffee time. Had a bit of a false start there. I seem to have squirted my stream into the ether. I don't know where it went. So if you find it, please send it back to me. Yeah, sometimes OBS can be a little bit weird, but hey, we're back. I need a nice story to ease me back into coffee time. Wait a minute, what's this lead story on the Daily Mail website? This is the story of Sharon Ely. And she went for a walk. She went for a walk with her dog in the Lancashire countryside, and she was surrounded by cows. 20 cows, she reckoned. Yes, she was walking a 5-year-old Lhasa Apso Ralphie with a friend on the 22nd of May this year, when she was mobbed by a friend. On the 22nd of May this year, when she was mobbed by cows, and she was subjected to a terrifying 5-minute-long attack in which one of the cows headbutted her, and she was almost crushed to death. I mean, here she is, hooked up. Don't worry, folks, she is okay. But this is the after effects of the cow attack. I mean, you can laugh, and here's some close-ups of the treatment she required. She damaged a broken clavicle and a shattered ankle and 15 broken ribs, because those cows, do you know what? There's an awful lot of cow attacks in the UK, and it's dog walkers, because I don't think cows like dogs, you see. So, but here she is with Ralphie, being discharged from hospital. There you go. This is the top story from the Daily Mail website. But it is very serious. Hopefully that story will move you. Now we need another one. Story, that is. That's terrible. That's terrible. Good news, everybody. Warwick University has put a trigger warning on Thomas Hardy's Far From the Madding Crowd. It's a classic of literature. I don't know if I've read that one, funny enough. But yeah, they've put a trigger warning on, highlighting the cruelty of nature and brutality of rural life, because there's a scene in it where 200 sheep are driven off a cliff, and in another chapter of the book, sheep die after eating a field of clover. Again, you know, it's like really. But apparently trigger warnings are really important, I guess, for people who are a bit stupid. The whole point, right, is they write these shocking things in books so you get a response, an emotional response. And people mistake emotional responses for... well, I don't know, I just think the world's gone daft. You know, it's that time of the year going, because they're going on about A-level grades. And apparently students have been warned that they face disappointment when the results are announced this week, because there's spiralling grade inflation, which kind of matches inflation, I guess. And I reckon 60,000 students are at risk of not getting a place at university. It's a waste of money, isn't it, really? Unless you're studying to be like a doctor or something important. It's just not really worth it. Anyway, let's talk about Beverly Dean. Beverly Dean's a businesswoman, and here she is. She's looking rather, I don't know, sheepish, I guess. This is her appearing at court. She's dressed rather smartly. But what has she been up to? What did Beverly Dean get up to? She's 54, right? This was relating to an incident in Northwich in Cheshire, right? She had with her husband failed during the COVID pandemic. Yeah, on a Friday afternoon in Cheshire, with mothers walking their children down the street, faced jail time after she admitted to a charge of outrage in public decency. But she walked free with a fine, And a community order, after a lawyer said she was too embarrassed to come to terms with what she'd done. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? It's a bit of an odd one. I think maybe, yeah, it's ruined her. Are we back? Are we back? I think we lost connection there. Did we lose connection? I think we did. But yeah, apparently everyone's complaining because our fluffy-haired leader is having another holiday. He's gone to Greece with his missus. I reckon it's his second holiday in 2 weeks. Everyone's annoyed. There's some really grainy pictures of a man that looks like Boris. There he is, walking around a Greek supermarket buying some stuff. Here he is with Carrie on their holes. I like the way that he's relaxed. He's loosened his tie for his holidays. Again, I don't understand. Look, you got rid of him. He's gone. But they're going, oh, but he should still be Prime Minister. But he's not. He's gone. It's like when you get fired from your job and they want you to stay on to hire your replacement. Johnson's just, he's gone there. He's just waiting for the next guy to come along. Nothing's going to happen. They're all the critics of Johnson. Again, I'm not his greatest. Well, I am his greatest fan because he's probably the greatest Prime Minister we've ever had since Churchill. For we know what he is. We know what he's about. But you can't complain about this when you wanted him out and he's gone. And they can't do anything until there's a new Prime Minister. Should have just waited for an election. But this is what happens when you destabilise the government at times of economic and political instability. Yeah. So there we go. This was something that happened over the weekend. Jerry Sadowitz was cancelled on the Edinburgh Fringe. Again, the I don't know if any of you know Jerry Sadowitz or aware of his comedies. He is a genius, comedy genius. I remember seeing him. Was it on TV? It must have been the late 80s. And again, unless I've remembered it wrong, but I'm sure he ended his act by putting a firework up his arse. And I remember saying to them, she wasn't the missus at the time, but I remember saying to the girlfriend, you won't believe what I've seen. But he does close-up magic as well, and he's one of these people that, likes to shock. But the idea is it makes you think. He did a skit recently where he said, just in case you don't understand, I'm going to put a hat on every time I'm being ironic, I'm telling the joke. So you'll know when to laugh or when not to laugh. Again, he's taking the mickey out of his audience. So he goes to the back of the room, and everyone's expecting him to come back with a funny hat on, and he comes back with like an SS cap on and says to the audience, so what we're going to do about those Jews, eh? You can clip that one. And that's the kind of comedian he is. He's somebody that likes to skirt around things, and he's a contrarian. He's not like that in real life. He does lots of different things, and he did his show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival at the Pleasance Theatre, and he got cancelled because they really weren't ready again, young people, I guess it's young people, just weren't ready for him. Here's Jerry from years ago. He appeared in the Shaman's Ebenezer Good video. That's how you know the guy's a great guy. And he's very good at close-up magic, works in a magic shop, part of the magic circle, written magic books, does loads and loads of great things. But yeah, he got cancelled. And this is the world we live in when Jerry Sadowitz gets cancelled for being Jerry Sadowitz. It's like, yeah. Again, if you're going to cancel him, you've got to cancel Frankie Boyle. That's somebody I'm not a fan of. I don't watch him. I wouldn't, Michael McIntyre, I wouldn't watch. But I'm not saying cancel him. And this is the thing. It's a funny old world we live in. It's a funny old world. But it's going to do marvels for his ticket sales because a lot more people are going to be made aware of him. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Remember that. No matter what lies they tell about you, there's no such thing as bad publicity, and the truth will always out, which is interesting, isn't it? What else have we got on here? Oh, this is a clip. This is from Odessa in the Ukraine, and this is some people on Odessa beach. I don't know if you can see there. Yeah, that's really what's happening. Apparently these people were on the beach and they've been warned about it. They were, I guess, paddling and they set off a landmine. And yeah, 2 men are blown up and others injured in a mine blast while taking a dip in the Odessa beach. And you've got to remember the Russians have, put mines everywhere, and people are kind of acting as if things have gone back to normal. And it's just terrible, isn't it? It's just terrible. Meanwhile, we're doing some science news here. This is news from paleontologists. They've got a new dinosaur fossil, which they've named Jacopil caniacura, which is a primitive relative of the Ankylosaurus or Stegosaurus, and they reckon it was heavily armoured and it was about the same size as a cat. And they've got a little. This isn't obviously the dinosaur, but they reckon this is what it looked like. How cool is it? I love dinosaur stories. When I was a kid, I used to love dinosaurs. I used to make them. They had Airfix kits of dinosaurs. Did you get that? I had Triceratops and another one which I can't remember the name of, the one with the spiky tail. But yeah, they reckon it grew to about 5 foot tall, and there was a plant eater. How cool is that? But yeah, and that was found in Argentina, I believe. Yeah, they found the remains in Argentina. It's amazing what they're digging up. Good news, everybody. The heat wave is going to come to a crashing end with thunderstorms, torrential downpours and flash floods, but we're still going to get 90-degree heat in the south today. It's been a bit warm. It's been unbearable. But what about a price alert pack, eh? And this is thunder above the River Tay in Perth at 10 p.m. yesterday. Look at that! Wow, we need some of that to break. And this is obviously in Blackpool. More lightning. So yeah, we're going to go from drought to floods. It's a weather of extremes, isn't it? A weather of extremes. So yeah, be careful, because I reckon there's going to be flood warnings. But won't the flood warnings put out the wildfires? I suppose one hand washes the other. This is they've done a review of last night's a show called Marriage was on last night, and I tuned in because Sean Bean and Nicola Walker in it, and they're two pretty good actresses. And I said to the missus, "Oh, it's a new." There was an interview with Sean Bean I read, and I thought, "Oh, this might be good. This might be good." And here's a still from the show. Them on a train. And it was awful. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched. But the critics keep calling it brilliant. I mean, me and the missus dissected it after it finished. With none of the dialogue was real. It felt so stilted. But the messages, you don't need to watch any more of it, because we won't be. Remember, men are bad, men are controlling, men are bad, men are controlling, but most importantly, men are controlling. And that was the thing of it. It was boring, and this is why I don't always watch BBC dramas. But I was foolish. They suckered me in. They suckered me in with Sean Bean. I thought he was going to die. I thought he was going to cut his head off in the last 10 minutes, but they didn't. Oh no, it's Game of Thrones, isn't it? Meanwhile, the NHS has been slammed. What have they done? NHS England, well, it's actually Manchester University NHS Foundation Trust, has come under fire because they're advertising for a Reiki healer therapists. There are spiritual therapists that can, I don't know, unlock your energy. It's a Japanese mystical. I'm a Reiki healer. Yeah, they advertised this £26,000 a year job, band for. And it says a successful candidate will activate the healing process in cancer patients by harnessing energy principles. This is just quackery. Don't worry, you're not going to have any chemo, radiotherapy or any of that clever stuff we're developing. We've got this guy who's going to put his hands on you. He's a Reiki healer. You go, wouldn't you? But yeah, Reiki healing comes to the NHS. Ah, boy. There'll be crystals next. Oh yeah, we've got to mention Sir Salman Rushdie was attacked in America last week. Thankfully he's making a recovery. But for those who don't know, he wrote a book in the 80s called Death Threats. There's a big moral vacuum of hypocrisy involved there. But yeah. Anyway, get well soon, Mr. Rushdie. They've actually got an article about how to tell if your meat's gone off. Like I say, it's if it crawls out the fridge, that's when you got to worry. It's a bit. There's no funnies. Where are the funnies? Where are the funnies? There's got to be an animal story. No, there isn't. I'll have to have a look at the here we go, this is a good one. This is CCTV from the new parade in Cromer, Norfolk. Yes, missus, it's a normal for Norfolk story. And this is a photograph that was captured on CCTV behind the new parade. Yeah, carpenter Tom Selby decided to investigate a disturbance after waking up to find a pile of empty bottles in the car park. And this is it. This is one way to keep cool. When he checked the CCTV footage, he found this fella asleep on a car in just his underpants and socks. At least he kept his socks on, I suppose. I assume he's drunk. Very drunk. That's how you know you've had a good night out, isn't it? Meanwhile, we're going to the Punjab. Right, this is a school in the Punjab. They've it's been revealed that they've got a wall of famous scientists. A famous scientist in the school. This footage was actually posted on Twitter, but that's where we're taking the still from. And so they've got all these pioneers there, Tesla and Einstein, people like that on the wall. And who's up on the wall? Who's up on the wall? It's Walter White himself. Yeah, seriously, he's on the wall. He's one of the famous scientists of the Punjab. And don't forget, the finale of Better Call Saul is tonight in the US and tomorrow in the UK and the rest of wherever. So yeah, they're getting some good education. That's science, bitch. That's a good one. That's a good one. That. Who wants some snake stories? You want some snake stories? Okay then. We're going into the folder. This is the story of Jason Sandy. It's funny because he's a mudlark. That means he goes along the riverbanks of the River Thames. Sandy, get it? Riverbank, Sandy. Oh. You people. But yeah, he found last Monday, he found this. What is it? It's a giant snakeskin. They reckon it was left by a 5 foot long boa constrictor. It's like, So there's a boa constrictor along the River Thames. Yeah, so yeah, it's huge. But yeah, he didn't collect it. He left it where it was because it smelt really bad. I'm not surprised. But yeah, they reckon a boa constrictor went for a little walk in 2020. Name was Ruby, and it escaped near Barnes Bridge near Chiswick. They found it there, and it was reunited with the owner. Yeah, 10-year-old Ruby was reunited with its owner back in 2020, and they reckon that yeah, it's probably Ruby's shedded skin, because they slough. Is it slough or slough? I can never remember. Slough their skin in order to grow. You know, all reptiles do that. You know that though. You know that. Yeah. You know that. Where's the other one? There is I did have some other. Here we go. This is the one. I've got some snake stories, you see, and this is again from the other week. I didn't use it because the missus was away. We used the old stories. This is the story of McDonald's staff, right, in Bognor Regis, West Sussex, and we have a picture. We have a picture of the McDonald's in question. Here it is. Well, they were shocked to discover. What were they shocked to discover? A 5-foot boa constrictor, indeed, at the drive-through. Here it is. Yeah. Probably went in for a Big Mac. Yeah. They told him to hiss off. It's just terrible. But yeah. But don't worry, the animal was rescued by RSPCA Inspector Hannah Nixon, and who answered the call. But yeah, I think they're trying to find the owner. Yeah, they still haven't found the owner at this time. But don't worry, they're not venomous. They're the ones that squeeze you to death. Like that's any better. But anyway, let's finish with we've finished with this one. This is the story of Govid Mishra, right? And we haven't got any pictures, unfortunately. But he was travelling to the funeral of his brother. Right, the 22-year-old made a 50-mile journey to the Bawampura village on the state of Punjab, and north of the subcontinent, where his 38 brother's funeral was taking place. And while he slept at the funeral event, because you know these funerals can go over a period of time, but before the actual 2 days before the actual funeral ceremony, he was bitten by a snake. Yeah, a lethal snake slithered in and bit him while he slept, and he died. He died of snake bite. That's terrible. Thing is, his brother Govid Mishra had also died of a snake bite 2 days before. There you go. Wow. So yeah, the brother that the funeral had a lot of snakes there. But the WHO, not the WHO, the bad WHO, the World Health Organization, estimates there are 5 million snake bites occurring in India each year, with half of them being, you know, venomous, poisonous. And they reckon between 81,000 and 138,000 deaths occur each year through the reptile bites. And they reckon snake bites cause as many as 400,000 amputations and other permanent disabilities. But many snake bites go unreported because victims seek treatment, you know, elsewhere. You know, they're not non-serious. You know, they've got friends who'll, you know, suck the poison out. Again, you know, if you're bitten on the arse and you ask your friends to suck the poison out, you know your real friends are, and that's so. And I think we'll end that there. I think I've done enough damage. Do you think there'll be anybody in the chat room? Oh, it's all a bit. Missed the story. Oh no, Joe says please chuff off. That's not very nice. Joe F. Oh man, that's not very nice, Joe. So Inkelstein's in. He says Thatcher was better. Absolutely. Many kids like dinosaurs. Must be something about them. I don't know what it is. Andrew's in. He says it's coffee time. All happening in Norfolk, indeed. And Hingleston says the guy looks like he's from a Frankie Goes to Hollywood video. He relaxed, didn't he? He certainly did relax. He escaped from the pleasure dome. Oh, the jokes are coming thick and fast today. Where's Mr. Payne? We need Mr. Payne. Are there any boas in Loughton? I probably imagine. There's quite a few feather boas in Loughton. And the Kingdom's in, and they say, "Do you like cluster?" I'm more of a Noi kind of guy. Inkelson says, "Who in the Punjab reminds me of a Doctor episode." It did happen, didn't it? Tomato says, "Hi, I'm from Thailand, full of snakes here." It's like, "Ooh, better watch out. Again, do you have the same kind of problem? You know, maybe people are a bit more aware of the snakes. But yeah, I'm glad we don't have that issue in the UK. We just have the heat, and you know, Brits and the heat do not good bedfellows make. We are melting. I'm melting. Jim Floyd says, "Hi, Darren. Do you like Oasis? What, the fruit drink? Not really. Not with my type 2 diabetes. Remember, I'm a convicted diabetic, whatever that means. I liked Oasis at the time. You know what I mean? Because it was just dad rock, wasn't it? It's good pub rock. You know, 3 chords and some lyrics. You know, it's pretty meaningless stuff, but it was anthemic. You know, and I think it was good at the time. It was good for the time. Again, those times came and went. You know, and it was a time of great unity. It's when music could still unify people. And those times are gone now. They're kind of gone. Mind you, at the weekend, you had Coldplay playing at Wembley, and that was pretty astounding. My niece went, and I think it was the first gig she went unaccompanied, because her uncle said he was a bit worried about her going, because Wembley, it's big. But I saw the pictures, and I looked it up because I heard. And yeah, that looked pretty cool. Again, people don't make the big deal of the big Wembley gigs like they used to in the past. Because back in the 80s and 90s, if someone played Wembley, they'd broadcast it on the radio and do a live simulcast, or even show it on the TV. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, Oasis were all right. They disappeared up their own arse by the 3rd album. That was the cocaine that did that. But no. They're all right. They're all right. Let's just say I don't dislike Oasis. Yeah, it's probably a better way of saying it. And I like it that they helped Neil Innes get a potload of money by ripping off How Sweet to Be an Idiot. That was expensive. Andrew says, "Did you watch Gary Newman thingy?" No, I didn't. Was that on Sky? Was it? I remember reading an interview with him, but I didn't realise it was a thing. There was an interview in the press the other week. I shall go and watch that on Now TV immédiatement. That's French for right now. Right now on Now TV. Thanks for the heads up. I shall give that a look. I watched Prey. Me and the missus, we watched Prey, the Predator thing, and I should do a review of that, which no one can watch. What do you reckon? Anyway, that was for the missus. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't worry, I'll get back into it. I'm a bit out of practice, and we'll do this all again. Yes, it's Sky, says Andrew. Thought so. It'll be on Now TV then. I can watch it. I can just pull it up on Now TV. Thanks for the heads up. And yeah, we'll do this all again soon. Killing the channel one terrible video at a time. Remember, avoid imitators. There's only one Darren Locke. And that's me, unfortunately. No, there are many Darren Locks, and they're all me, aren't they, really? And yeah, we'll do this all again soon. That's it. That was the news. Drink it up.